Hello, my name is Andre Maurice Davis, and today we are going to go over the forward stance or the front stance. The stance where our one leg is forward and our other leg is behind us. So the forward stance is made up of your front leg, whether that be your right leg or your left leg in this case, forward, bent at the knee, and our weight is going to come down onto our feet into 3 anchor points. 1, 2, 3. The first anchor point being just between your big toe and the next toe at the top knuckle. The second anchor point being between your pinky toe and the toe next to that at the top knuckle. And your third anchor point being at your heel. So as you put your weight onto those 3 anchor points evenly distributed, you're going to move your knee so that it's over your ankle, and we're going to turn our hip so that our belly button is in the same direction as our knee. So all our weight's down there, or most of our weight, we're supporting the rest of the weight on our back leg. And our back leg, we're going to try to straighten out. And we're going to bring it as a kickstand, making sure that our weight's still down on this. We turn our hips in, readjust there, and then we can slowly sink down so that our knee stays over our ankle, our weight's still going down there, and we're really going to feel it on our legs right at the waistline here. So as we try to stabilize that and turn into it, that's where we're going to feel it turn. So as we go, we're going to feel our back leg straighten out almost naturally. You're going to have to slide, you may slide a little bit as you adjust, but as we turn and sink our hips down, our back leg wants to come out. So once we get it to a point where we want to really grip it down, our weight's still pushed down into our anchor point here, but now we're going to start focusing our weight on the back. So we can start driving a little bit of weight back here so that it doesn't slide, our foot doesn't slide back anymore. So right now I'm wearing some sandals just on this floor to kind of show that as I push, my foot doesn't slide back as easily as it was before, now that I have some weight being pushed back on it. So again, my weight's still being just pushed down evenly those 3 anchor points. So this is pushing a brace here, solid. This is pushing back as another brace there. And our weight, maybe about 60% of our weight is up front, maybe about 40% of our weight is out back, adjusted a little bit as you tense different muscles in your legs, shift your, or rotate your hips. We want to rotate our hips so that it's pointing forward, our belly button's pointing forward, our hips are lined up, and then we have a solid base. So if somebody were to push back on me, this is stopping that force from going back. It's a solid. Going side to side, it's a little bit of a balancing act where we want to make sure that our legs aren't too narrow. We want to have it at a comfortable width so that we have some stability, especially as, again, we can get knocked over side to side very easily. The wider we have it, but we can also have a broad stance so that we can take that stance, that impact the force coming at us. So imagine you're getting hit by a punch. If you get hit by that punch, you're not going to be staggered back. You'll hit that, your legs will absorb that impact, and you'll just kind of stay there, take it, or do whatever you need to do after that, if you wanted to look at it in that case. So if we come up from that, shake out our leg a little bit, and then we can go down to the other side, and we'll break it down a little bit again. So if we start standing with our head, with our feet about shoulder width apart, and if I go from the side view, standing straight up, and we were with our left foot forward the first time, we'll bring our right foot forward this time, and we'll just step out, we'll bend that knee, and we'll bring this leg back a little bit. And then, so now I can move side to side comfortably over my ankles. I'm not wobbling, so this is a good test to see if you're too narrow or short. If we think about a shorter or a narrower stance, think about it on a tightrope. So if this is a tightrope, we have a little bit of instability. But if I step out just a little bit, I've got some more stability. But if I start rocking on my ankles, still a little wobbly. If I step out a little bit more, I can do this much more comfortably. So find that distance for you, that balance, where you're able to move around on your ankles like this without, wobbling all over the place. So with that in mind, we'll start again. So we'll start standing up straight. We'll just take one step forward, bend our knee forward a little bit, take our other leg and just kind of slide it back, rest down with the thought processes. Similar to our horse stance where we're sinking our hips down low, think of that this way, just sink your hips. And then you're gonna feel your knee move out. Some key points to look at when we do this is our knees should be over our toes, or we shouldn't see our toes. So if my knee's back like this, I can see my toes if I look down. All I have to do is bend my knee forward, and I don't see my toes. So that's what I'm looking for. Ideally, I want my leg to be pretty straight here as a solid post. And I want my back leg to be straight, and I want my back foot to be either forward or slightly pointed out. We don't want this pointed straight out in a 90 degree to this foot. We want to have it as close to parallel to it as is comfortable. You'll find as you get comfortable with your stance and with whatever you're doing in your stance, it'll adjust a little bit. But once we settle in there, we make sure that our hips are pointed forward. We make sure that our belly button is in line with our knee. And then we settle into our stance. So our weight is distributed over those 3 points, 3 anchors on the front, and then 60% up front, and then 40% out back onto our back foot, bracing ourselves for any sort of impact coming down this way. And then we can stand up. And then that is the front stance. So go ahead, practice that. Really, you're gonna work on your hamstrings. You're gonna feel it in there. You're gonna work on your inner thigh muscles here, and then you're gonna really work on rotating your hips, because your hips may be tight. So to stand like this is probably a natural stance, but to turn that hip in really activates some muscles that you may not be used to, especially the glutes, again, your hamstrings and your inner thighs, and then some of your outer thighs as well. But play around with it, stretch out your legs, make sure you're staying warm when you're doing it, don't hurt yourself. But yeah, if you have any questions, certainly reach out to us over here at Mandala Sun. We're happy to walk you through anything, or come on down to the studio and we'll have a great old time. Thanks, bye.